Hey everybody, welcome back. I recently took a trip to Hawaii. Just got back on Saturday night a few days ago, and I was there from a Saturday, March 9th to the 16th, and it was on my bucket list. It was something I always wanted to do. My wife always wanted to do, and family had never, in-laws had never been there before. My daughter was only 13, never been there before, so glad we finally accomplished it. Like, at least I definitely want to go back there again. I'll probably go back there again sometime, but I'm glad I say I at least did it once. It was one of the funnest destinations I ever went to. The scenery was just, I went to Waikiki, Honolulu, and the scenery was just so beautiful. The temperatures were nice. You would think being around water, usually when you're around water, like California or, like Chicago, it gets kind of cold at night being near the lake and where I used to live. And it really wasn't much different, even being surrounded by water. There was only like a 10 degrees of difference between the daily high and the daily low. It was, I don't know if March is the most popular time of the year to go there. The weather was pretty nice, but it was pretty empty, the beaches. I know the water was still pretty cold. But it was like 77 during the day, 67 at night for the low on average. And I guess in July and August, when those are their hottest months, and then it gets to be like 88 is the average high during the day, and like 78 at night. So it looks like all year round. There's not much difference between the high and the low, which is good. And I brought jeans and a jacket with me just in case I got cold at night, but obviously I didn't need it at all. I think I just wore it one night. I brought it with me just in case, but I got warm and took it off when it was like 9 o'clock at night when family and I were watching fireworks near the beach. And food was good for the most part. It was a lot of teriyaki. A lot of chicken teriyaki, beef, steak teriyaki, and macaroni salad is a real big thing there. I'm not really a big fan of that. I love potato salad. I love pasta salad. Not really that big of a fan of macaroni salad. Same thing with macaroni and cheese. I mean, I like it, but there's so many other things I'd rather have. But yeah, everywhere you go over there, that's like sometimes it was a choice to have it. Sometimes they just slapped it on your plate as a compliment. Like, here's some free macaroni salad. And okay, I don't know. I didn't know it was such a big thing over there. I thought that was an American thing, but people were fairly nice for the most part. Just like anywhere, you get a few assholes, a few drunks, obnoxious people, but nothing like I experienced in Vegas. But of course, Vegas, people are gambling and drinking and so many obnoxious and people out of control in Vegas. That whole town, that whole city's kind of out of control with the way they do things. But everyone is fairly nice for the most part in my experience. And you'll get that anywhere in any city and any place. You'll get a few obnoxious people and assholes from time to time. There's a big bed of flowers, but there's a weed here and there. Speaking of weed, I'm not sure what the laws are over there. It must be legal, but I saw several people. I could smell it, but yeah, I saw several. There's a lot of smoking there in general, cigarette smoking. I haven't seen a lot of cigarette smoking in recent years. There were a lot of them over there, but yeah, there were a lot of people smoking weed. I was surprised, and it must be legal there. I didn't look up, I don't smoke it, so didn't really have any interest, but I didn't know what the law is on that, but it must be legal because saw smelled a lot of people smoking it. If you're from Phoenix, where I live, it was like a 7-hour flight to get there, going upwind and then downwind coming back. It was 5.5 hours. Really surprised the 7-hour flight, Southwest Airlines, is a whole nother discussion I could talk about. I talked about in another video about why I hate flying. It was pretty hard for me to be, it felt so good, never felt so good to stand up and walk around in my life. But yeah, it was a really hard flying. I dozed off occasionally here and there, but yeah, it was a 7-hour flight there, and I was really surprised that they didn't serve a meal. 7 hours. They just sort of they allow you to bring food. I'm sure about other airlines, but Southwest allows you to bring food on. So I brought a meal on for the ride, even though the ride back home, the flight back home was shorter, only 5 hours and 20 minutes. I'm still hungry. But yeah, I can't believe that 7 hours they didn't serve a meal. They serve snacks and drinks. And I have a hard time. It was amazing that I was able to go that whole flight without using the bathroom because I'm so tall, I'm 6'5" and pretty wide, so I have trouble getting into those lavatories and urinating in those lavatories. I tried I've tried, squatting, and it just doesn't happen. I tried sitting down, it just doesn't happen. So yeah, I can't really go to the bathroom on the plane. I'm too tall, too wide for those lavatories. So I was able to make it through the whole. I was amazed I was able to make it through the whole flight and didn't even get the urge to go. It's pretty strange, but brain must be telling my body what to do. So, and it's a melting pot as far as race. It was mostly people of Asian and Hawaiian descent, and then this came in second was white people, and then it was just about an equal mix of everybody else. But yeah, I saw races of all kinds there. Everybody was, like I said, everybody's fairly nice to you for the most part. And yeah, it wasn't too critical. It definitely wasn't like Vegas. I'm not sure if March isn't a popular time of year to be there, but like I said, it wasn't too crowded. Definitely not like Vegas. It wasn't stressful. It was real easy and relaxing, laid back, stress free. You didn't have to get a rental car. All the restaurants, all the attractions, the shows that we saw were all within walking distance. So we could just walk from our hotel to the beach. The only thing we did take a tour bus just to see some other sites. We went to the Pearl Harbor Memorial, and that is like 10 miles away. So we did take a tour bus to get there. And there, I guess parking there is pretty limited, and then they charge, I think it was like $7 or $8 to park. You have to download an app on your phone to do it, but we didn't have to worry about any of that. Took a tour bus there, but that is very, as far as Hawaii goes, Honolulu, Waikiki, that's probably the most popular attraction there other than the beach. And it was, like I said, it was on our bucket list. It was something my family and I wanted to do. We wanted to go there years ago, but COVID pretty much put a halt on that because they had such strict precautions and people weren't traveling there. We definitely didn't want to deal with that. And speaking of COVID, I don't know if there's still some paranoia there, and not just older people, high risk, even though younger people can be at high risk too, but it did see a lot of people there wearing masks, which is really surprising after all this time. But I guess some people are still paranoid about it. Some people are still high risk, and I always find it kind of weird, kind of odd. You think like a married couple, or a couple that's in a relationship, when they're together, you think they both be wearing masks. But I always have to laugh when one person has a mask on, the other person doesn't. It's like, oh, aren't you worried about your? I'm surprised they don't make their significant other wear a mask as well. But that's a whole nother story, a whole nother discussion. And not really, so the city was pretty clean. There was a few homeless people here and there, but you get that in any city. But yeah, it was very clean for the most part, and just about every crosswalk, I mean, the sidewalks are very well kept, and none of cracks or potholes or anything like that. And what I remember, at every crosswalk, it was like, instead of just regular cement concrete, it was actually bricked, which is pretty neat, pretty nice, and more comfortable to, pretty to stand on. And let's see. And then as far as the weather, I talked about the weather. Weather was nice and wasn't as much sun as I expected. It was, I don't know if that was unusual. I'd have to look up the weather for the whole year, the amount of sunlight. I know we get a lot of sunny days here in Arizona, 365 days a year. We get 300 days of sun, and the sun shined every day we were there. There were a couple days it drizzled a little bit, so not much rain, but it was overcast for the most part, more cloudy than it was. Most of the days it was just kind of like partly sunny, and most of the days were pretty cloudy. I don't know if that's the norm, or I don't know if that's just unusual around this time of year. But the sun was out. It did. I know sun is pretty intense in Arizona. If you're light skinned like me, you don't watch it, you don't wear sunscreen, you can get, even if you're being out for a very short while, you can get sunburned pretty fast, pretty easily, pretty bad. And I wonder if some people were finding that out. I was prepared, brought sunscreen with me and used it when I had to, but there were a lot of light skinned people like there. I don't know if they must have been tourists. I don't know if they didn't realize how intense the sun is around this time of year already, because I know the UV index even for March was pretty high around this time of year, even comparing it to Arizona. Arizona's UV index is lower, but sun must be more intense there, because I saw a lot of light-skinned people like myself with really, really severe sunburns. I was in a restaurant, I saw this guy and his girlfriend, and they were both, their legs, their face, their arms, they were just severely burned. They looked like red tomatoes, red lobsters. So, let's see. think I covered everything I wanted to cover. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. That was my experience going to Hawaii. I definitely recommend it as a destination for yourself. If you haven't been there, definitely make a point to go there sometime before you pass away. You definitely will not regret it. And I specifically went to Honolulu and Waikiki. I'm not sure, I can't speak of other parts of Hawaii, but I heard that's like the most popular destination to go to visit and to live, even though it's definitely out of most people's ranges as far as expense. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Hawaii. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all real soon with another great video. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Talk to you all soon. Bye.